Is your next iPhone about to get a lot more expensive? That's what many people are worried about right now, as new trade tensions between the United States and China could directly impact the price of Apple's most popular product. It's not just talk either. There are already signs that Apple is preparing for something big, and customers across the US are taking notice. Over the past weekend, Apple stores saw a sudden rush of people, but it wasn't because of a product launch or special sale. According to a recent Bloomberg report, people were simply checking prices, and many were even buying iPhones earlier than planned. The reason? Concerns that prices might jump in the coming days due to new tariffs being placed on goods from China. Now here's where it gets tricky. Apple is in a tight spot. Most iPhones are made in China, which means the company will have to deal with these new tariffs. Apple can either absorb the extra costs themselves, which could lower their profits and affect their stock value, or they can pass those costs on to customers. If they choose the second option, iPhones in the US could get significantly more expensive. To put it in perspective, the new tariffs could raise the total import tax on Chinese products to 104%. That's more than double. If this happens, the cost to bring iPhones into the US would shoot up, and those higher costs would likely be passed on to buyers. Even though it's not the usual season for iPhone shopping, people aren't waiting for the iPhone 17 anymore. Many are choosing to buy the iPhone 16 right now, worried that waiting even a few weeks could cost them a lot more. Apple seems to be very aware of the situation. Reports say that in the last week of March, they flew 5 cargo planes full of iPhones into the US from China and India. Why such a big move? Because a 34% tariff was scheduled to kick in on April 9th. By bringing in as many devices as possible before that date, Apple could avoid paying the new tax on those units. That means they can sell the phones at regular prices for now. This gives Apple a short-term solution. As long as they're selling from the current stock, prices will probably stay the same. But once that inventory runs out, the company will face tough decisions. That's why many experts believe the real changes are still coming. Apple might try to avoid price hikes by cutting down on how much it costs to make each iPhone. One possible way is by asking suppliers to reduce the prices of parts. If that works, it could help Apple keep iPhone prices steady in the US for a bit longer. But the challenge doesn't stop there. Starting April 9th, there's also a 26% tariff being applied to goods imported from India. Apple has been moving some of its production to India to avoid relying too much on China, but with this new tariff, even that option becomes more expensive. So Apple doesn't have many low-cost alternatives left. If you've been thinking about upgrading your iPhone, now might be a smart time to do it. Once this current stock runs out and new shipments start coming in under the new tariffs, prices could rise very quickly. We could see big changes in just a matter of days. Would you still be willing to pay full price for an iPhone if it went up by a few $100s? Or would that push you to consider switching to another brand? Let us know in the comments, and if you found this video useful, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We'll keep bringing you updates on Apple smartphones and what these big changes could mean for you. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Samsung appears to be working on a more budget-friendly foldable phone, the Galaxy Z Flip 7 FE, and recent leaks give us a better picture of what to expect. One of the key details is that it might be powered by the Exynos 2400 processor. This suggests that Samsung is looking for ways to lower costs while still delivering solid performance, making foldable devices more accessible to a larger audience. It seems that Samsung is developing 2 versions of its clamshell-style foldable, the premium Galaxy Z Flip 7 and a more affordable Galaxy Z Flip 7 FE. While the main model will offer top-tier specs, the Fan Edition is expected to provide a similar experience at a reduced price. Fan Edition devices often come with slight compromises in hardware to keep costs down, and from what's been revealed so far, the Galaxy Z Flip 7 FE could share many features with the existing Galaxy Z Flip 5 with only a few changes. A report from Galaxy Club indicates that the international version of the Galaxy Z Flip 7 FE, listed under the model number SMF761B, is set to feature the Exynos 2400 chip, the same one found in the Galaxy S24 FE. The Exynos 2400E is a modified version of the standard Exynos 2400, but with a lower clock speed for its prime core. This means performance could be slightly reduced compared to the regular version, but it should still be capable of handling daily tasks smoothly. However, this only applies to the global model, as Samsung often varies its chipsets depending on the region. The US models, labeled SMF761U and SMF761U1, might instead be powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon processor. In terms of cameras, leaks suggest that Samsung won't be making major upgrades for the Galaxy Z Flip 7 FE. It is expected to feature the same camera setup as the Galaxy Z Flip 5, which includes a 12-megapixel wide camera and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera on the back, along with a 10-megapixel front-facing camera. While these specifications aren't groundbreaking, they should still deliver good quality photos and videos. The main question many people have is how much this new foldable phone will cost. The Galaxy Z Flip 6 is currently available for around €899, and the Galaxy Z Flip 7 is expected to be in the same range. Since the Fan Edition will likely have slightly lower-end hardware, its price could be closer to €799. If this turns out to be accurate, it would make the Galaxy Z Flip 7 FE one of the most affordable foldable phones available. Samsung seems to be targeting people who want a foldable phone but don't want to spend as much on a flagship model. Samsung has been working hard to make foldable devices more mainstream, but one of the biggest hurdles has been their price. If the Galaxy Z Flip 7 FE is priced right, it could make foldable technology more appealing to a wider audience. While some compromises will be necessary to keep costs down, it'll likely retain the core features that make the Flip series so popular. Another factor to consider is how Samsung will position this device among its other models. With the standard Galaxy Z Flip 7 as the flagship and the Galaxy Z Flip 6 still available in some regions, Samsung needs to be strategic with the Fan Edition's pricing. If the price is too close to the flagship model, people might choose to pay a little extra for the more premium version. But if the difference is significant, the Fan Edition could become an attractive option for budget-conscious buyers who want to experience foldable technology without breaking the bank. As of now, Samsung hasn't officially announced the Galaxy Z Flip 7 FE, but the leaks suggest that an affordable clamshell foldable is on the way. If you're someone who's been considering a foldable phone but didn't want to pay the high price, this could be worth keeping an eye on. More details should be available soon, so stay tuned for updates. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more tech news. See you in the next one. Is having a slimmer phone worth paying more, especially if it means a smaller battery? That's the question people are now asking after some surprising details about the Galaxy S25 Edge popped up online. Two retailers in Italy briefly listed the device on their websites, and while those listings were quickly removed, they were online long enough to spark conversations everywhere. Not just because the phone is thin, but because the price was much higher than anyone expected. One of the listings came from a retailer named Zanetti. They showed two versions of the Galaxy S25 Edge, one with 256 GB of storage and another with 512 GB. The prices were €1,362 and €1,488, which is about €100 more than earlier leaks had suggested. Many were expecting a base price around €1,249, so this new price range surprised a lot of people and made the phone sound more premium than anticipated. Even more surprising, this pricing puts the S25 Edge above the Galaxy S25 Plus, which is usually considered a more powerful model. But the S25 Edge isn't being marketed as a high-end performance phone. Instead, it's designed to be thin, light, and stylish.